Sometimes in boxing, when fighters are familiar, we can be treated to something special. That means that the familiarity factor will generate a competitiveness between the two where they don't want to be outshined by the other. And such may very well be the case when we get a chance to see Sonny Edwards take on Yafai on Saturday, November 30th. This will be a battle between two men who will compete for a title. Now, the title in question will be a WBC Flyweight title. It's an interim type of fight, interim title fight, and it's going to tell us a lot about the two men who know each other so well. So let's talk about these two and their opportunity to face up against one another and put their friendship aside for a moment. In a fight that is being billed as Bloodline, Sonny Edwards is taking on Yafai on Saturday, November 30th. These two men know each other extensively for well over the past decade, and they have done work in the gym against one another. They've sparred countless rounds. Sonny believes it's hundreds of rounds. As I watched their face-off, it was very entertaining to sit there and watch two men who are competing in a sport where, when we're seeing on this side of the world, our fighters don't want to face their contemporaries. But that's not the case between these two men. They are looking to go out and see who is the best professionally. Now, when you talk about Yafai, he's an Olympic gold medalist, and Sonny Edwards is a recently dethroned world titleist, because back in December of 2023, in his only loss to this date, he dropped a fight to Jesse Bam Rodriguez. And Rodriguez, we know, is an outstanding fighter, pound for pound, steadily moving up the pound for pound list. But Yafai is a fighter that we don't know a lot about on this side of the world, but apparently what's known about him in the UK and amongst that side of the world's boxing followers, he is someone that's ready now to take that next step up into the elite level of boxing. His present record of 8-0 with 6 KOs finds the southpaw out of Birmingham, UK, in a position to be like a lot of what you're seeing happening in the women's division of boxing, with fighters with less fights but the amateur and Olympic experience looking to test the waters as soon as they can. And you can't shake that because, first of all, he's an elder fighter at the age of 31. And when you're talking about these smaller divisions like flyweight, bantamweight, those tiny guys, when you start to hit your 30s, that's usually the time of descent. Now Edwards, who's still in prime, happens to be 28 years of age. And coming off of that loss that he suffered against Bam Rodriguez, he did bounce back. And he had a fight against Adrian Curiel, and that fight was back in June of this year. And Edwards is a more high-strung talent. He's the type of guy, a little bit showboatsy, but coming out of Sutton, Surrey, the UK, he's looking to really establish himself again as a world titleist. His nickname, Showtime, because he really likes to put on the show. Not just ring entrances or things of that nature, but his style is a crowd-pleasing style. And in his 21 victories, he has only 4 KOs, but he makes a note to get in there and let his opponents know that this is the sweet science. It's the art of hitting and not being hit. So that's going to be an interesting aspect when they face each other because they are so familiar. Having sparred hundreds of rounds with one another, will Yafai be able to find him? And the southpaw, who is a puncher and an inch taller at 5'4", with the 8-inch reach advantage at 68. We wonder what's going to happen here. Sonny gives the impression that he may be a little apprehensive in this. Not that he doesn't want to face Yafai, but the fact that the guy is so familiar with him. So some of his tactics, which have worked, even against Bam, he was doing certain things that showed Bam that he was a courageous fighter, but will he be able to translate that courageousness into effectiveness against someone who knows him inside out, having been in the ring with him so many occasions? Yafai has to step it up. If he wants to be a world champion, if he wants to get into the Rodriguez sweepstakes, he's going to have to be impressive in this fight. And I do believe he's going to press it. Being a southpaw, we don't know what type of advantages he's going to display against Sonny, but we do know that Sonny is not necessarily a puncher in this situation. And Yafai is coming off of a string of 2 straight KOs. So will he be able to impose the power? It remains to be seen. But what I do like about this, and I can't state it enough, that these two men are going to face each other and they're somewhat acquainted. They're going to go in there and compete for an opportunity to fight for a world title. And you have to respect that, because there are fighters that we're just seeing today that are not unwilling to be that type of gentleman. And on this night, when they face one another, one of them will take home bragging rights. And who will it be? Let me know, what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.